What's up, Sword? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to break down episode 14 of season 3 of The Bad Batch. This one, it's titled Flash Strike. So we pick up right where we left off. The Bad Batch is attached to the bottom of the Imperial shuttle going through hyperspace. Remember, at the end of the last episode, we saw Echo go through one of the droid tubes to get into the actual ship. As the ship is exiting hyperspace into Tantus, we then get a shot of Hemlock kind of in an air tower, and he is alerted that Rampart has escaped, and it was due to Clone Force 99, which is the Bad Batch. So the question is, are they being tracked by the Bad Batch? So Hemlock decides to dispatch TIE fighters to monitor the surrounding space. Meanwhile, the Bad Batch detaches their ship and they start kind of trying to get away and make some distance between them and the Imperial shuttle. They are then spotted by the TIE fighters rather quickly, I might add. It's a little different to see the Empire kind of on top of their game. But they do find them very quickly, and they end up shooting them down with the help of some cannons as well. They do abandon ship using these cables in the hopes that the Empire thinks that they're on the ship when it crashes. Hemlock does go ahead and order a full sweep of the jungle to make sure that they are actually perished. Back on the Imperial shuttle, we see Echo take out a trooper, and he basically puts on his armor. He then goes to a navigation computer of some sort, probably trying to find the coordinates of Tantus. That is kind of what I'm thinking. A droid ends up spotting him, and I think the droid notices that it's not really a stormtrooper because the voice sounds like a clone. So the droid, very smart, and we've seen that type of droid before in Star Wars, the first time in A New Hope. Echo takes care of the droid by blasting him. We then switch gears. We go back to Tantus, and we see Omega in the vault with the kids. So she is telling them that those noises that they were hearing, because those kids were pretty frightened, and she's telling them that that is cannon blast. And what she decides to do is ask the kids to kind of cover for her. And it's funny because the kids had no idea what she was even talking about. And it really goes to show the innocence of these few small young children. So she kind of says, well, I just need you to stall if they come in for our daily blood testing. Omega then heads back to her cell, takes out a few of the blocks that we saw her do in the last episode, and ends up climbing to the top. And what does she see? She sees a ZILLO beast. Now, if you remember, the ZILLO beast was found by the Empire, and they ended up capturing it as it was pretty small. And we saw in season 2 that if the ZILLO beast is blasted by some type of like electricity, that he will end up growing faster. So that's what she sees. She sees the ZILLO beast actually being zapped, and that's what I'm thinking the Empire is doing, is trying to make it grow. Because again, if you don't remember, the ZILLO beast's hard shell, like the outer skin, cannot be penetrated by lightsabers. So that would make some pretty good armor. So that's what I'm thinking that the Empire is doing here. So she sees that, and she kind of comes up with a plan. Back in the jungle, we have the Bad Batch kind of running away from the Empire, trying to hide. And what we see is Rampart just absolutely clueless about his surroundings. And he ends up resting up against a huge rock, which ends up being a huge beast that the Bad Batch has to fight off. At this point, Rampart starts running away, and eventually he is caught by some stormtroopers. Meanwhile, back at the vault, Dr. Skulder comes in to do the testing, and the kids do their best to stall her. One says that he's hungry, and she basically ignores him. One says that he doesn't feel good, so she's like, okay, let's do a little more testing. And then another one says, can you come test me next and not Omega? Because they did not know Omega was back in the cell, which we then find that Omega made it back in time for her testing. So Dr. Skalder, who I think is going to play some type of role in the finale. I think something's going to happen with her character. She may even get somebody killed because she is definitely all for the Empire, unlike that we find out with Dr. Carr. If we head back to Echo, he is now in Tantus. He's looking for Omega. So he is trying to figure out where she is in the database. We also noticed that he's scrolling through some of the kids, and if you pause a little bit, you can actually notice some of those bars on the kids very, very low. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the bars mean. I'm assuming that it means like their stats, think of video game stats almost. And when you get to Omega, all of the bars listed there are much higher than the other kids. So I'm thinking this has to do something with being force sensitive. I feel like it makes sense. Dr. Carr sees Echo doing this, and she realizes it's Echo right away. Again, I think it's all based upon the voice, because a regular stormtrooper, remember, are human, and they're not going to have the same voice as all of the clones. It does not take Echo long to convince her to help, because I do think that Dr. Carr was going to be someone who helped Omega and the kids escape. And I think it was just seeing Echo after Omega had talked so much about her brothers that she's kind of almost all in at this point. Back over in the vault, the episode ends with Omega telling the kids that she found something big and she needs their help. So I think in the last episode, the Zillo Beast is definitely coming into play. And I have a feeling that Omega is going to probably use some aspect of the Force to control it. It's going to be very, very interesting. Although this was a shorter episode, it does link it right into what we're going to see in the finale. And I have heard that the final episode is supposed to be around an hour long, which would be fantastic, because I feel like there's still a lot of things that need to happen. And I made a prediction video a couple days ago. I'll link it up here for you guys, and you can check that out. I'm probably going to come up with another prediction video after this episode, because I think some of my predictions have changed. I know the Clone X character I had mentioned in that video that I thought it possibly could be Asajj Ventress. And thank you so much for making the comments on the video, because I think you guys have changed my mind. I'm actually not even sure if we're going to see the Clone X character again. We probably will, because I'm thinking he's going to be one who was sent to kind of hunt down the Bad Batch, and he may even get a kill shot on one of them. At this point, though, I'm actually not thinking they're all going to die. So do you think they would really kill off all of the clones that we have grown to love in 3 seasons, all in the same episode? I think it would be irresponsible, to be completely honest with you. But again, I think it's irresponsible to keep them alive, because we've never seen them again. So I'm not sure what their plan is with this. You know, maybe they are going to have some type of another clone series with the survivors. I'm still interested in seeing the Asajj Ventress and Omega show. Like, I feel like that would be the next way to go, especially if they want to continue any type of storyline with those two in the current Mandalorian canon. So I don't know, guys. There's a lot here to think about. I'm going to jot down a bunch of notes. I'm going to make another prediction video, probably tweak some of my predictions for the finale. I'm excited to see it. I cannot wait. So May 1st, the final episode of The Bad Batch. And I'll be right here to break it all down for you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about this episode. Did you like it? Did you like where we're headed? What is your prediction for the finale? And guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to keep those heads on, and I'll see you guys in the next video.